yeah. Good morning. My ear itches. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing okay. Got my coffee. So good. So good. Excuse me. Welcome. Welcome to the second ever Don's Early Light. Really enjoyed yesterday's. Hopefully I'm going to enjoy today's as well, equally as much. So if you joined us yesterday, we worked on the Wizard of Oz King of Clubs Scarecrow deck, and today we are going to attempt to do the King of Diamonds, which is going to be the Cowardly Lion. So let's do it. Let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's go. All right, so let me turn my lights off. They're shining in my eyes. What's up? I don't know how to pronounce your name, Mr. Bu. I'm not sure. But welcome. Hey, Kenny. What's up, Sam? Hope you guys are doing good. All right. We're going to start out like we did yesterday. I've got the base card ready to go. This is my King of Diamonds base card. I've got it saved, ready to go, ready to start. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to go to Pinterest. There's all of our Scarecrow. I'm going to look at some pics of lines just as reference. To get some fun pics. Let's see here. We don't want a mean pick because it's obviously the Cowardly Lion that we are doing a picture of. I like this one. That's a good pick. I'm going to copy image. I'm just going to paste that right here. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just finding some basic pics of lines. I think it's pretty good. Now, I'm going to search Cowardly Lion. I just want to look at some of the reference, and unfortunately, the majority of this reference is going to be from the movie, which is okay. I do like this stuff right here, this image right here, some of the original illustrations. You can notice Dorothy, there's the Tin Man, and also you can notice that she has her silver slippers rather than the ruby slippers, because from the book, they are silver slippers instead of ruby. That was something they created for the movie. Let's see. I'm not really finding anything in here. It's just, I just wanted to take a look at it, but that's kind of cool. I think that's the little medal that he gets at the end of the movie. All right. Good thing is, well, I guess you could say, I don't really have to worry about drawing a costume, which I guess is a good thing. All right, so I'm just going to put this guy up here. And I'm going to find my pen. There it is. There's my pen. So what I'm going to do is the same thing as I did yesterday. Let me just clean this up. Okay, all this. I'm going to put all this stuff in a layer so I don't have to fight with it. I'm going to make it yellow so I don't touch it. I guess I could lock it too. Bonch. I'll lock that as well. Bonch. And I'm going to create me a gray layer like I did yesterday. Over the top, like that. And just barely. I don't want this picture to be in there though. So I'm going to put that on top. Now I can unlock that layer. Just now I'm obsessive compulsive and I want to clean up it even more. So I'm going to put this inside there and then lock it. Now I got a really clean file. um, so what? So I created a gray layer just to knock back the noise of the background so I could see it. And then I'm going to get a white pen and go to town. So let me see here. I had the only thing that I had in my the only idea I had in my mind for this was using his tail, for him to hold his tail, like he's scared, I guess. The only thing is, I didn't really necessarily want to picture each of the characters, the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, in like their what's the word for it? The way they were before they get changed in the end. They don't really get changed in the end. They just realize that they already have what they need. And so I may not make him look scared because I didn't have the Tin Man look. I didn't have the Tin Man look, heartless, but it's kind of hard to make things look heartless. But I didn't have the Scarecrow look brainless. I had them very kind of jovial, I guess you could say. And so I'll probably do the same with this. However, the only idea that I had was using his tail in a way like I did the staff with the Scarecrow and the axe with the Tin Man, using his tail as an element that would cross over into the other, and maybe he's holding, like the top character is going to be holding the bottom character's tail. We'll just see what that looks like. So what we're going to do is, lions are hard to draw for me. I've drawn lots of lions or tigers. They're kind of hard to draw. I don't know why. It's probably just because I don't draw animals that much. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to sketch here. Like this is his body, just the access of his body. And then maybe he's going to have a mane. So looks like where are their ears at? Oh, there they are. They're kind of up here. I couldn't see his ears. I'm going to have to anthropomorphize his body a little bit, I think. A little bit, just to kind of make things work. I feel like that's too small of a head. Let me open up the Scarecrow just for size reference. I'm going to duplicate this image, and then I'm going to copy his head. And the only reason why I'm doing this is just to get a scale, so you can see I'm already drawing his head a little small. So I'm just going to scale up his head. Well, if I could use the tool correctly. Let's see here. Okay, cut, paste, scale. So what I'm trying to do is I want to make the lion's head about the same size as the Scarecrow's head. So there we go. Come here and delete. The good thing, I guess a good thing, because he has that mane, the mane is going to take up a lot of the image itself. So let's come over here. I've got him looking to the to my left, so I'm going to keep his head on the right side of the middle axis. I might even pull it over a little bit more. Because if you look at a king of, if you see a king of diamonds, the king of diamonds is looking to the left, and you've got, he's got his head here, and he's in profile. You can see his nose, and then he's got his hand up like this. So I'm not necessarily trying to recreate that, but that's just some free information. I kind of said this yesterday, like I'm literally, this is me literally just waking up and starting doing this. And so in the very beginning, it's always a lot of me waking up and getting warm. And so I feel like that I get really self-conscious about how slow I'm moving. So I'm just kind of warming up. So let's see here. That's the top. So I'm going to, I want to see, let's see, I need to go back to the internets. Let's see. I just want some lion. Let's go to Google Images. Images here. Lion. I just needed some images of the body because I don't want to make it up. And I don't know enough about lion-esque anatomy to draw from the hip. Just want to pick one pick. I like this pick because he's looking to the left. I'm going to copy that just for reference. I may get to use that. Then I want a picture of the body, that first one. That's pretty good right there. All right, that'll work. Copy. All right. Put that right there. Okay. So now, let's see here. Let's go back to my drawing here. All right, so I'm going to make a new layer. So what I'm thinking is, like the top of his tail right here. And then let's see here. I'm just kind of thinking about it. So maybe his arm, this arm, he doesn't really have a shoulder that comes out, but I know that I'm going to kind of give him some human things. I like how the mane kind of comes back a little bit, and then see how this mane right here, I don't know if you can see, let's put this on top. I like how in this mane right here, it's kind of got this little point that kind of flows out this way. I like that. I think it makes a cool shape. So what I'm going to do is kind of mimic that just to get, just to create some flow, maybe like that. I can put a little curl on that later. And then what I can do, let's see here. Okay, so I've got his neck in here, but it's a kind of a big neck. And then we'll do his arm coming down. So here's his shoulder. His arm comes down, elbow. And I have to think, if I'm drawing down here, let me move this picture. I have to keep in mind that you have to keep in mind when you're drawing a playing card that anytime that you cross the access line in the middle. Anytime you cross that access line, you have to be cognizant of where you are. So I know that if I'm drawing here on the card, that is going to end up over here on the other side. So I have to kind of be aware of that. And I know that I want this arm on the left side to be holding the tail. So I have to be aware that if I bring this arm down too far, it's going to cover the arm on the other side. I'll try to show what I'm saying. So if I put a shoulder on the other side here and bring that. However, see, this is what I'm talking about. I need reference. I need reference because I don't want to give him a human arm. So lion leg. Let's see. All right, so this is a good one right here. And they have they have a normal cat leg. A normal cat leg. And I just want to make sure that I draw that appropriately. Because obviously he's not going to have a forward bending like we do. All right, so come in here. Let's just see how we're going to do this. All right, so what we got is you got the cat leg where you got the shoulder, elbow, you got the forearm, then you got the little paw pad in the bottom, then it kind of dips down at their wrist, and then their claw. Just working it out for myself here. Yes, I won the award for the worst paw ever drawn. So, it's going to be pretty easy because, if you think about it, you've got an elbow, shoulder, wrist. So we're going to be able to get by with some stuff being, and I don't think anybody's going to get mad. They're going to email me when they get their deck. Hey, bro, listen, I don't like the anatomy of this line I don't like this deck. So we'll bring his arm down, his elbow here. I want to draw this arm first, though, because it's going to be the important. It doesn't have to be the important one. And I don't know what's going to happen, because yesterday when we were doing the scarecrow, I liked how now the paw is going to be what's weird. It's because he's going to need to hold the tail, but he has no opposable thumb. So we'll just have to see how that goes. So I'm just going to I'm going to be lazy at this point and put a big block right there for his arm. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to erase this arm, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this simple drawing here over, just so I can be aware, because I'm really going to have to think about how I'm going to interact with these arms crossing the axis. And it may be a thing where I just, hide this back arm. I don't know. So I'm going to make a new layer just so I can draw. I could bring it down this way, forward, and then bring it over the middle like that. Do that. And what that would look like would be, let's go ahead and duplicate that arm over. That would look like that, which is pretty interesting because you have these really cool shapes. But what I want to do is I would need to bring, I don't want 2355 Club. I had talked about this earlier. I didn't want to portray everybody in their kind of like pre-transform state, Scarecrow without a brain, Tin Man without a heart. I started that with the Tin Man because I gave Tin Man a little heart medal. And also with the Scarecrow, he doesn't look dumb, I guess you could say. And I didn't want to I don't really want to make the Cowardly Lion cowardly. I want there to be I want it to all be kind of like happy and joyful. Let's see here. Boom, boom. So what I'm doing is I'm just moving this bottom arm. Am I doing this correctly? Yes. I'm just moving this bottom arm just to get the mechanics down a little bit. I like the shape. I like the shape that's creating, but I also think it's a lot. It's going to be a lot of stuff that I've got to work around, which is okay, because it's going to be a lot of interesting stuff that I can make the tail weave in and out of. However, I feel like I need to, let's just play with it. I like it. We're going to go with it a little bit and see if we can make it work. Now, I could probably get away with moving his paw up like this. Nope, I don't like that. Let's see here. Let's go like this. Let's try to keep it below the axis, the midpoint axis like that. And then bring his paw down like that. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to duplicate that. Okay, something is off. I can tell it. Something got off, and I need to make sure that it's not off. So I'm going to delete all this stuff from the bottom. And I'm going to grab this. Usually when things get off, and what I mean by off is I just noticed that it wasn't rotating properly. So I got his arm, this arm. That's the gray layer. His arm, his body. Just gotta find his head. There's his head. It was hiding. There we go. What is this? I don't like that. There we go. Okay. We're back in business. I try to keep the file clean. All right. So that's not bad. I actually kind of like that. It creates a cool, a cool flow. So from here, let's do a new layer. And let's look at the tail. So let me see here. Let's go back to the internets. I just don't know what a line. Ooh, look at that. Now we're talking. Look at that anatomical drawing. Let's copy that bad boy. Boom. Copy. Paste. That's good. That's real good. And then I just saw another one. Lion leg. Nice tattoo, bro. Nice tattoo. There we go. Oh, look at that pig. Look at that. That's awesome. They're so cool. Lions are so cool. The only reason why I'm getting a lot of reference here is because I don't know anything about lion anatomy. And I don't want to phone it in and just kind of make it up. All right, I think I've got enough. Pull this around here. Okay. So from here, what I'm going to do is I've got a new layer. And I'm just going to draw the tail. So I got the top of his tail here. And then it comes down here. And I'm being mindful of the arms. then maybe it comes like this and then behind his head over here. Like that. So let's duplicate that, see what it looks like, see if we're feeling it. And you'll hear me say it a lot. Oh, that feels good. I'm feeling that kind of thing. I do like this a lot. I already like this a lot. And I kind of talked about this yesterday. For some reason, I have found just with experience that not all the time, but a lot of the time, my first inclination or intuition about a drawing is more than often the right one. And I think that has to do with just doing a lot, drawing a lot, because I'll draw it and then I'll like, oh, is that right? And then I'll try to redraw it. However, I have also learned that if I draw it the first time and it feels really good and I like it, I definitely know that that's going to be at least a good workable solution. And let's see here. Some things I like about this, just compositionally and visually, is where's my paintbrush? Is just the kind of flow that it has, where you come down in here. You know, his head is pointing in this direction, so it kind of leads you this way to up the other one. Kind of the same thing, like this. Then it comes back down to the arms. So it creates a lot of good movement, if you will. All right, I'm feeling good about this. Let's take all these layers, merge them. Oops, I merged that reference drawing. I don't want to do that. Okay. What's up, Adrian? Good morning to you as well. So I'm just going to bring this down. I'm going to get rid of some of this reference because it's crowding me. It's crowding me, peeps. It's crowding me. I don't really need this one. Let me find this one here. So is it 68? Yes. All right. All right. So let's draw some line. I do like how this line here, I love their little goatee that they have. I like how his face is down. It's down, and then his eyes are kind of pointing up. So I'm going to try to recreate that a little bit. All right, so I got a new layer. I'm going to draw in black with this second layer. All right, so I'll probably end up enlarging the eyes a little bit just to kind of give it that, to emphasize that kind of cartoony look. Let me bring it down a little bit more. Okay, we're good. All right, so just kind of thinking about it before I start. Okay, so I like this stuff. Right, kind of creates this little triangle. I'm just looking at the reference and just looking at the shapes. I also like lines have this little teardrop shape. I don't know if there's an actual name for it, but they have like this teardrop shape above their eyes. I think that's going to be a good opportunity for me to put some character into it. All right, this is a lot of me just stalling because I'm afraid of drawing lines. So why don't you buck up, Jackson? Let's do this. All right, so we're going to have his nose. His nose. It kind of turns up, doesn't it? Turns down first. And then this little black thing kind of comes up. Like that. Got some dots here. Got that sweet lion goatee. We're going to really accentuate that. Maybe he's got a little curl here. Yeah. And then the side of the mouth. Give it a little bit of a smile, I guess. Like that. And then his eyes. I have him kind of looking out that way. So scared. I'm so scared to draw this line for some reason. I'm so tentative. All right, we'll have there's a line right there, and then it creates that kind of wedge shape, like that. Rawr. Got to watch out for the eyelashes, because if you put eyelashes on it like this, especially with a animal, if you put eyelashes on it, that is visually what everybody has been trained to take as, oh, that's a girl. And usually, I know he's got a big mane, but so I kind of have to watch that. I like how this kind of goes like this and kind of these shapes right here. So we're going to use that. So I'm going to put that I want to make sure I put that teardrop shape because I think that's interesting. And then got that big jaw. But then the mane comes off of it. So I'm going to start the mane here. Let's put in his ears. Nice puffy ears that'll help kind of sell. And also like kind of has this kind of the fur kind of frames their face. And then, like I said, would come off. It's kind of a thing. I was wrong in the way I thought about it. It looks like that there's this big, I'm drawing over here on this. If you look at this, it's kind of broken up into two parts, the mane. You've got this front part that's like right here, bonk, which would be kind of like his head or his beard. And then you've got this like shoulder piece. Beach hair. That's funny. So let's draw that beard. And you can see with this line, it's kind of like in two parts like that. So we'll do something similar. So we'll come off his ear. Let me draw those two, just the flow of the way I want it to go. So I have one there and one there. So we'll kind of come off here. And I'm just going to draw the shape of it. This probably needs to be a little bit further down. Like right there. And it comes out like this, a little bit more poofy. I don't know if I like that or not. Let me just try. Let me just try to make it one big blocky shape. I don't think the Lion Anatomy police are going to be calling me. But I do want it to look decent. All right. I like that. Now, I could draw this kind of like bison thing that he's got, but I'm probably going to leave that out because he's already taken up so much room that I want to make sure that I've got enough space for everything else. You might see a little bit of it right here, kind of come in around his shoulder, over his shoulder, like that. All right, so let's draw his front arm. Where's my reference, Robinson? What are you doing? So if you look at this, I'm just going to draw this shape. If you look at this arm, they're very thick up top. They're very thick up top. This would be considered a knee, and then another knee. But what I'm going to be doing, well, let's keep going. I'm just thinking through this, peeps. All right, so let's just think here. This shoulder, I know this is not a shoulder, but I'm gonna say it's a shoulder. Will be this joint, and then this joint will be this joint. Now, the forearm length here is way too long, and I think that's going to be an important element to make it still feel like a lime. So we'll probably have to go in there and alter that a little bit. So, hip. There we go. So we'll draw that. But what I do want to look at this is the top part of his leg is very, very thick compared to how it's very much a cone shape, I guess you could say. So I want to make sure I get that. So we'll start his hip or shoulder pretty large up here. And then it has this dip. So we'll have that dip here. The elbow will be a good opportunity to put like a little tuft of hair like that. And then if you notice on this picture here, this bone, where is that bone? I'm trying to find it. So right here, his wrist, it kind of has a bulge. You can kind of see it right there. I think that that's important to put. But as I'm just sitting here BSing, it's more of me working through it because I don't know anything about lion anatomy or cat anatomy because I don't like it. I'm using a Cintiq Wacom. And also, as I'm drawing, I need to make sure that I stay below that. I need to stay below the axis line. Okay, and then, come on, Jackson, quit being afraid of it and just draw it. So it's going to come up like this. It's very much a human arm, but just the way that I'm doing it, I don't know if I can get around it. All right, so I'm just looking at it, how I'm going to do the paw. Do lions have that weird thumb claw? Let's see, lion paw. I don't know. Yeah, they do. See, that's good. So you can kind of see, there's a good pic of it. See, they've got that. That's going to be good, though. That's going to be good for when I draw him holding the tail. So he kind of does have an opposable. He'll have an opposable thumb type thing. I'm just going to pull this on the other screen. I got to sneeze right quick. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm really hesitant about doing this just because I don't know anything. All right. I'm looking at the reference. So I do know that those middle two paws definitely come up and they kind of go forward. And then that pinky claw kind of comes back like that. All right, how does the side look? They're pretty. I'm sorry if I'm super boring right now. I'm just trying to figure out what a lion paw looks like. That's not what I wanted. There's a good pic. Somebody else's drawing. That's a dog paw. It's kind of a lion paw. No, that's a dog. There's a line right there. That's a cat, but same thing. Okay. Just quit whining, Jackson, and just draw. All right, so we'll have his claws here. And then put that thumb claw in there like that. It's funny. I'm all worried about drawing the stupid cat paw, and the cat paw comes out better than usually my human hands come out. So I made his paws nice and big. I like that. I was making such a big deal out of it, and I like it. All right, so let's draw the other one. All right, we're going to bring the shoulder in here. And also something that you may notice is I didn't want to like caricaturize the lion too much, because one thing, if you look at the original, let's see, original Wizard. Oh my gosh, I can't type with my pen in my original Wizard of Oz illustrations. One thing that I really like about the original. Okay. Why won't you hit enter? Let's see. Original Wizard. No, I don't want to search Wonder Woman. Wizard of Oz illustrations. If you look at this, which I love these illustrations, yes, what I don't want to do is I don't want to make the line too caricatures. Like this is a good example of one of the original illustrations. He's got a huge head. But he still feels like a cat, I guess you could say. It's not like in the movie where it's a bipedal person in a onesie, a furry onesie. That's also a lion. So it's just my thought process. Oh my gosh, Jackson. We've been doing this for 45 minutes. Why aren't you further along? All right. I'm going to quit talking and get to work. All right, so what we're going to do is draw a little curl on his Clifford the Big Red Line. All right, so once again, I need reference. Sorry, I'm going back and forth to this so much. I need to see what it looks like from the bottom. Okay. I'm going to pull this on my other screen so I can see it. All right. So he's going to have the initial little pad, and then it's going to we're going to hit his wrist, and it's going to come back like this. I just need to sketch some more here. All right, looking how the thumb part works. I mean, I'm going to be able to get some liberties here and pull that thumb over a little bit with the claw. And then you've got the main pad in the middle. And then you've got that kind of iconic where the two front claws go up like that. That works enough for me for right now. I'll go back and struggle with it later. Okay. So, and then I want to look at lion tail. So I get that correct. Here's a good example. Right there. Boom. It's basically a big puffball. Nope, I don't want that. All right, so, and it's going to kind of go this way. I want to make sure I stay off that K, and it's going to fan out like that. And then come through his hand, down over his arm, and then around the back. All right, I like that. Let's see here. Let's clean it up a little bit. Let's make sure we get everything. I'm going to delete this down here. Okay, and then let's make sure I get all my drawing here. Merge those layers. Okay, I'm going to duplicate it because I want to go ahead and start making sure that everything is working together. Yep, I like that. Make sure I save. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Control S. All right, I like that. I like the shapes that his arms are making. I like what's happening in the middle where this stuff is crossing. It's very similar to the scarecrow, but that's okay. That helps give it continuity. All right. I'm just trying to look at it, see if there's any blatant things that are standing out to me. All right. So I'm going to merge. I won't merge these layers just yet. I'm going to bring the white drawing layer down. Okay. All right. I'm feeling good about that. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start drawing the third level, the tight. Just to repeat myself, I know I did this yesterday, the people that were with me yesterday, but the way I work is basically I draw that very loose sketch in the beginning just to get the basic structure. Then I draw this second layer just to get the forms. And then this third, usually the third, I can go more than that if I'm not getting it. But usually this third layer of drawing is me drawing the final drawing that I'll end up using. All right, so let's do it. I'll make a new layer. It's black. I'm going to open up the scarecrow again. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and take that off. I'm going to open up. Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I want to get his eye. I want to get the eye really, really close. Oops, sorry. Wow. It's like this is the first time I've ever used Photoshop. I just want an eye. That's all I want. I just want the eye. There we go. I really want to get this right. All right. So, but at the same time, I want to get it right, but I also want to put my kind of like stylized flare. Just trying to make sure that that these angles. All right. Where's his other eye? It's kind of the same thing. Interesting. I did not know this. Now I'm going to have to search. Do lions not have the cat eye thing? Look at this. Did you people know this? Look at this eye. It's a pupil, like a circular pupil. I would have expected the lions to have, the cat eye. But I guess not. Let me see. Lion. It's an important element, though. Well, I guess. Well, see, this person was misinformed, and they put a cat eye on it. But this picture has the cat eye over here. But these are all circular pupils. I don't know what to believe. I don't know. I'm rethinking all my life decisions now. These are all circular. I don't see any that are the quintessential cat eye, but like you got this person that has a cat eye, but I think that they just were wrong. And they didn't do enough research. Like I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a line or not. I doubt that that's a line because I'm not seeing anything. So we're going to go with circular pupils. Wow. Learn something new every day. I know I'll get somebody that's like, hey bro. That's my go-to impersonation of that guy. All right. So we'll go with the circular pupil. I could look that up, but I've already spent way too much time on this. I want to make sure I get that in there. His eye might be a little bit big, but that's okay. I like how it's got this kind of shelf right here. I like that. That'll be a good opportunity for me to put in. All right, let's get that other eye. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This little teardrop is a little bit higher. It's not quite that far. It's a little bit further up. I like that one. It's more of kind of right here. Like that. See, cats can change the pupil shape of the eye. Just one more reason why I don't trust cats. One more reason. I'm going to take out this dye line so it's not in my way. Cats take your soul. I totally agree with that. I support this ad. This is the moment. This is the moment in the live where I become really quiet because I now am actually drawing. So it's safe to assume I'm a dog person. Yes, I am a dog person, but here's the thing. I have so many like respiratory issues and asthma. I got one lung. I only have one lung, and I have lots of asthma issues. And it's not that I don't like cats. It's just cats have always just given me a lot of problems because I'm very allergic to cats. And they make me not breathe good. And as well with dogs, but just dogs not as much. However, I will say I've never owned like a house cat before, but in Texas, when I lived in Texas, I owned some feral cats, like 6 of them actually. And surprisingly, feral cats are great rattlesnake deterrents. Not because they fight the rattlesnakes, but because they eat the mice that the rattlesnakes eat. Let's see. Let's draw this other eye. Kevin, this is the card design for the Wizard of Oz. All right, let's get that non-trusting circular pupil in there. Control S. Control S. All right, let's put this little kind of wedge shape in here. All right, I'm liking this. Okay. Now let's get on to his. I'm just looking at my reference here. Very tentative, which I don't like, because me drawing tentatively usually means I have to redo it. All right, let's put his ear in here. I don't really like these squiggly lines for the hair. I want it to be a little bit more confident. So let's put in the ear, and then I'll draw the hair around the ear. See, one thing I'm trying to think about is, do I want to really stylize the hair? Or do I just kind of want to make it more of a mass? Let me see here. You go on here. I'm going to just make a new layer right quick. Let's see here. I feel like I'm trying to think through my head how I'm going to make this this hair work because I have to think about how I'm going to draw it in terms of coloring it. All right, so I'm going to make a new layer and I'm just going to sketch some lines here. Just trying to figure out some of the flow, what the hair is going to do. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm making these lines because I want to try to create the overall shape. The overall shape. That way I know what to kind of draw in. Then this kind of comes over the ear. And then it'll kind of wispy around the front like that. And this is, I mean, they basically cover up the other ear. Control S. Control S. All right. I like that. And it's also important. I really want to get the mane right because it's such a huge visual element. I mean, it's a huge shape, and I want to make sure I get it right because it'll be, and it's also framing the guy's face, so another reason why I want to make sure it's right. All right, there we go. Let's bring that down. All right, so now I did lots of sketching for the hair, but I'm gonna try to do it with as few lines as possible because that is what's gonna create the best kind of like look. Erase this original. And kind of with this, like this ear on the hair, I do want to take a few opportunities to like, you know, stylize the hair a little bit, give it some curls. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to get most of my mileage not from the line work in this particular element, not from the line work, but from the coloring. And so I want to make sure that the overall shape is solid. I'm going to go back and redraw this little chin part to be a little bit more in line. this. Oops. Yeah, I like that. I like that better. All right. Let's take this, my pensive, unconfident lines here. Bring this curl all the way down and up. Bring it like this. All right, looking good. Draw a few lines coming off this side just to hint at the flow of the hair. All right. Let's draw some of these. Ba-ba-ba-ba. And one thing I'm trying to do, especially with the hair, is just to keep it very lighthearted because I definitely want this to feel like, you know, it wouldn't be out of place in like a children's book illustration kind of thing. Control S. All right, let's move on. Feathering. Oh, yes, the 80s feather. Who can forget? The 80s feather. What a great look. Okay, I'm going to jump down here. Let's do this back. Let's do this arm. Okay. Control S. I know I've already done it. I'm going to do it again. Control S. I did. Thank you. That last claw in there. Add a few little lines just to hint at the hair. Okay, Control S. Control S. Okay. I really like that. I like that arm a lot. It's got a good feel to it. Okay. Let's draw. I'm leaving this area out right here for right now. I'll go back. Well, I just do it right now. Why are we waiting? Let's see. So I'm drawing this kind of like bison-like shoulder cap, whatever you want to call it. Come on, Jackson. Don't be like that. Don't be scared. Just do it. It's not his shoulder. It's the fur on his shoulder. Well, I hate that. All around, hate that. Let's see here. Maybe. And usually if I'm like struggling with like a specific area, I honestly would just leave it and procrastinate and come back to it later. Which is what I'm about to do with this area. Yep, I'll just come back to it later because I do not like that at all. All right, let's go to this arm over here. There's his shoulder. That's too much. Too much deltoid work. Ba-boom, boom. Now I definitely need to look at some reference for this bottom of the paw because I'm definitely flying blind. All right, let's get some more reference. Lion paw. Let's see here. Man, crazy. Look at that. Look at how big that paw is. Man, I would not want to meet that. Let's see here. It's a pretty good one. Let's see. That's pretty good. All right. Jeez, it's so big. There's a huge paw. All right, let's see here. Okay, I got the reference. Let me just copy one of these images. Is that a lion's paw? I'm going to make sure that's a lion's paw. Okay, copy. Because what I don't want to happen is I'm just going to flip this one because I want it to be the same. Okay. Put it over here. All right. Let's do this. It looks like this pad here is over to the left a little bit, but I'm going to keep it right there. All right. So what we're going to do is, okay, I've got that center paw, that center pad kind of creates almost like a W shape in a way. All right. So we got that middle paw. And then let's do this claw here. And then it's very weird. I don't think that I've ever drawn the bottom of a paw before. Okay. But I'm also trying to think about, okay, how I'm going to make that thumb come around. I'm trying to think, do I need to roll the fingers two of those bottom, do I need to roll two of these bottom ones over so it can hold the, so it can hold the tail? Yeah, I think that'll work. This is kind of where I go into the kind of cartoon territory. I think Disney did a great job of doing paws, especially like lion paws, with like in like the golden age of Disney. We're talking like Robin Hood. And then I'm trying to think, I'm looking at my hand, how I could pull this off. Let's see. So this one's been much more of a task than the Scarecrow was, only because it's an animal, and I don't normally draw animals. I'm just trying to find the balance between too much human qualities, or where it still feels like a paw, but at the same time, I can actually make it feel like it's holding that tail. Teen Wolf, what a great movie. What a great movie. Okay, I actually like that. Control S. Control S. Okay. I like that. Control S. I'm going to do it again just for safekeeping. All right. Get out of here. Get out of here, reference photo. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is draw the, I just controlled S again just out of reflex. I'm going to draw the tail now, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my drawing layers together. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that's the right ones. Nope, I don't want that layer. Delete. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to duplicate the drawing. Control S. You never can Control S too much, people. So I'm going to duplicate the drawing and see if I need to go ahead and fix anything. I can see that I'm going to need to address this kind of tangent right here that this elbow creates. And I think I do that pretty easily just by just bringing this bicep part down a little bit into the right there, and then bringing this like that. That'll probably do it. And then this is all going to be behind like that. All right, let's go back and duplicate it again. Oops. Control J to duplicate layer. I won't forget the shoulder mane. I'm just being lazy and procrastinating. I'm going to do his tail first. Build up a little confidence by drawing the tail. Then I'll go back and do the mane. But thanks for reminding me, bro. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. So I'm just thinking through. It looks like it's going to it's not going to be that hard. It's basically just be one little thing. All right. Where's my reference? Lion tail. That's a good one. Copy. Paste. You are small. Get bigger. All right. All right, I'm going to draw a big, let's see here. I'm just going to draw a thick line here just to give me the volume. So it's going to come up this way, over the index finger, under the thumb, around, and then back behind the shoulder. Yeah, of course, it's going to totally, Google's going to show me ads for lions for like the next 3 months. Because I've searched so many lions. It's going to be like velvet lion blankets and pillows. Thank you, oh wise Google, for your product placement. But hey, I can't complain that much because I use Google to place my products. Okay. So the tail basically looks like it's, it's going to come up this way. I'm going to put a little curl on it. Come down this way. Actually, I'm going to redraw it here. I want to get that shape. So here's the axis point. And then it's going to kind of teardrop out this way. Like that. So we will going to draw some elements right here because I know I'll end up painting that a different color. All right, so we'll come down here like this, under the thumb. Okay, delete that. Come here. I feel like I'm confident if I can delete that part. Okay. All right. Let me go here. Make sure I'm on the right layer. Create a layer mask because I don't want to erase it because who knows what will happen. I may want to come back later and bring that back for some reason, so I'm not going to erase it. Control S. Okay. All right. Let's delete this bottom one. All right. What are we doing? Let's go ahead and figure this out. Let's do his mane. All right. So I can already kind of see that this shoulder part comes a little bit too far back. So I'm going to take my lasso tool. I'm just going to pull it in a little bit. That's better. Make a new layer. Oh, that sucks, Jackson. Let's go. Come on. Why is this so hard? I may not even do it. Let's see here. Let's see if this, just do this a different way. All right. All right, let's look at everything. Let's delete this part. Don't need that. All right, let's duplicate this over. Oh my gosh, it's annoying me. It's so annoying. There we go. That's what I needed. That's all I needed. Okay. Control S. Okay. Looking good. Let's delete some of this crap. Don't need that anymore. All right, so let's make sure I got everything. Got that. Okay, so this is my drawing. Group that. Is that everything? Yes. Duplicate. Okay. So because I changed the shoulder up a little bit, I need to continue the tail. Easy. And I need to continue this arm a wee bit. All right. Good. All right. Good. Just checking. Okay, let's duplicate it again. Africa by Toto. That's funny. My kids love that song. Dad, play Africa. Play Africa. They like the Weezer edition too. All right, let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to erase some of these elements. Not erase, but just use my layer masks to paint them out. The thing that I'm excited about is I'm going to stretch. The coloring is going to be super easy. Because it's basically all just one color brown with different shades, and then I just make the hair, and then boom, we're done. All right. Let me just see here. I'm just doing a little look over. All right. So what I'm going to do now is, let me think. All right. So I'm going to go back and thicken up the holding line You guys saw me do this yesterday with the scarecrow, and this just helps. I'll thicken up some of the outer border lines just to help pop the form a little bit. And what I'm doing is I'm thickening, I'm taking the lines that create forward, the lines that are like forward in space or that I want to bring forward. I'm just going to thicken up the lines a little bit, and that'll help everything pop a little bit better. And it's also an easy way to like give a composition depth, because naturally things that have a thicker holding line, even in real life, in real life it's more of like a what's in focus or what your eyes are focusing on is what comes forward. And because I'm adding these thicker lines, it's kind of a way for me to like kind of cheat at that a little bit. And so what I want to move forward or what I want to pop, I'll put a holding line around it like this. They do this in comics. But you'll notice like right here, I'm just doing the outside of the mane. I'm doing this kind of like profile part here. I did his ear here because I want those elements to pop out a little bit. So like, notice his little goatee beard, like it has the same line width as the rest of his mane, but me just going in here and thickening that up just a little bit like this and differentiating it from the background, or differentiating it from the other line weights. You can see now that it forces that goatee out a little bit. Oops. Now I got Africa stuck on my head. Africa. Things another day. Oh yeah. We're going to have a curl on the tail tip. Oh, that's the bottom one. I don't want to draw on the bottom. Just want to draw on the top. All right. Looking good. Okay. Just a few more. Just look back. Okay. Okay, let me just see here. Okay. All right. I'm going to take off. Of course, I did that. Just move this layer to this group. Delete this group. Bonk. What's up here? Don't forget this area up here. I'm going to put one right here just to really bring out his eye. And then one right on his nose. Okay. All right. Okay. Just checking it. All right. I'm going to duplicate this. I am. Alice in Wonderland will be one of the subscription decks this coming summer. All right. I really like this a lot. I feel great. I need to put one thing, just one thing I'm seeing here that I'm missing. I need to just have a little bit of something to create an arm, like a chest here, and then an armpit. I know it's not much, but I just need something right there. There we go. I probably could get away with that just with the color, but for some reason I was feeling like there was okay. Oops. Do I know, by any chance, if my plan, spiral chest hairs, if I'm going to continue literary theme into 2022? I don't know. 2022 is a long way away. I know that there's other stories that I want to do that I don't have scheduled for next year, like the Iliad and the Odyssey and those kind of things. Let's see here. So, yes, I know that I'm going to keep doing literary ones because I love literature and that kind of stuff, but I don't know if I'll continue it in terms of the shorts. All right, Control S, Control S, Control S a third time just for good sake. I'm going to go give me some more coffee right before I start the coloring, so don't leave. Womp womp. My coffee is lukewarm now. All right, let's do this. I have a feeling that the coloring is going to go very fast because it's just basically one color and make it look like hair. I'm going to sample these colors from these images. Okay, got my line drawing. What is this? Okay, make sure I'm underneath my line drawing. All right, I'm just going to I would love to do a Saved by the Bell deck. Man, that would be awesome. Or like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh, wouldn't that be great? So I'm just going to knock in this a base color here for everything. And then once I get the base color in, I'll take off that gray layer so we can kind of start seeing it with the background. "12:30 flight, blah 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 blah." Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Brandon Knapp, for sticking Africa in my head today. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm humming it again. Oh, you evil man. You evil, evil man. I regret nothing. I'm not going to even do it. I'm not going to even say it. Because then I'll get that song stuck in my head. Oh my gosh, I want to sing it now. For some reason, this seems a lot more flesh color than it does the golden yellow, but I can change it. Just getting it blocked in is the best first start. Then I can go change the color if I want. Why aren't you using the paint bucket, Jackson? I don't know. I've never used the paint bucket. I like coloring. I liked coloring books when I was a kid, so I do it like this. And I also like the paint bucket doesn't do a very good job of filling because you get a lot of artifacts towards the edge. And if I do it like this, I can color underneath the black line, which gives it a better. What is that? A spot? What is that? That's annoying. Control S. Okay. All right, let's see here. I want to make it a little bit more kind of a golden color. So let me see here. I'm just gonna push it ever so slightly towards yellow, just ever so slightly. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know. What is this? Let's see. All right, we're just going to do it. We're just going to keep it. Yeah, there we go. Right in this area here is where we'll start. What is this down here? That's a little bit too brown. Let's try that. Yes. Start there. All right. Let's delete this gray layer. Boom. Whole different picture with all this color. All right. Let me just see here. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is just to have the mass of color in there. I'm going to duplicate this brown base layer just so I can have the mass in there, so I can see how it's reacting with the background. All right, so Control S, why not? I'm going to open up the Scarecrow from yesterday just to give people context to what I'm doing here. First thing I did yesterday was create this kind of like painterly drop shadow that you can see with this dark kind of holding line around it. So that's what I'm going to do now, is do that. So I'm going to make sure I'm underneath. I'm going to get my brush that I made for this, my painterly brush, put it on multiply, and I'm going to go to town. And that's not the color I want. I want this green color. There. I want that color. What is that? A word from our sponsor. Oh, that's a link to a King's Wild deck. All right, let me bring the opacity on that down a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put on normal right now, and I'm going to duplicate it and rotate it around. The drop shadow could be a foil layer, but making the drop shadow a foil layer would be, I'm not knocking your idea, but it would be the wrong choice, because that would mean that I would be making something something shiny right around the character when I want the character itself to be the focal point. I am thinking about what I am thinking about making foil is, if you look at the background, there's these two lines right here, right there, and right there, coming down here, those, and then this yellow brick road thing I've got. I'm thinking about making that foil. Maybe something on the outlining yellow. So things that are yellow and gold might be what I'm make foil, an emerald green foil. It's just what I'm thinking. All right, let's do the white holding line around that line. What's that? Looks like I forgot a part right here. Okay. Duplicate that layer. Spin it around. All right. Control S. Okay. Yes, I do plan on making the gilded versions with an emerald green gilding if I can find a good emerald green foil. If I can't, then it'll be gold for the Yellow Brick Road. But I'm going to really try hard to find an emerald green foil to use. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just rough in basic colors very quickly. Okay, let's go this white on his chin. Then it kind of comes over here. It's a little bit down here. It's definitely right here on his eye. A little bit right here. And I'm just blocking in like as if I was painting because I'm going to go back. If anybody was here yesterday, I kind of go back after the fact and smudge it. Push it, pull it, make it kind of like painting. All right. Let's see. He's got some white down here on the bottom, over on his chest and the back of his arms. So let's do that. Okay, it's going to be here in this area. Like that. I'm kind of doing this opposite the way I did it yesterday. I'm going to go and clean this up because I'm seeing some parts where I did not paint. Okay. All right. Now, the only reason why I'm doing this different than I did the Scarecrow is because hair is so much different. With the Scarecrow, and normally I would do, once I do the blocking color, I would do like a shadow layer first, and then a highlight layer, and then kind of work on top. But because fur is so different, there's so much, the shadows are just, they don't work, they don't really behave the same way. And it's more has to do with the coloring and stuff than it does the shadows. And once I figure out the shadows, I mean, once I paint the colors, then I can kind of go back and put the shadows on top. But it's going to be more done with color than anything else. Okay. Now I'm going to go choose a different color. Let's go this kind of like, it's kind of an orange right about there. And this will be kind of like this area here. That part around his ears is a little bit more yellow. Around his face, definitely right in here. Oops, I want to make sure I get that. This area right here needs to be white. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, we got a little bit of it down here. Into the ear. I'm just looking at this reference over here as I'm painting this. Gonna give some of it in there. Some of it towards the back. I'm looking at this right here. Towards the back. All right. Maybe a little bit here. Okay. This is Photoshop. I rarely do anything illustrative in Illustrator. I design probably all of my thematic decks in Photoshop. All right, let's see. All right, let's go with this kind of straw color. Wait, am I on the same layer? I don't want to be on the same layer. Let's go back. Let's go a little bit different. Let's see. That's basically the same color. All right, let's get this. What is this? Kind of this color right there. Okay. This darker color. Bring that into the ears. Some around here. Down towards the bottom. Right under the chin. All right, let's do the top of his nose. Kind of this lighter color. This area right in here. These little teardrop shapes. Let's make them this color here. Okay. Don't forget the body, Jackson. Don't forget the body. Let's see. Control S. Okay. This is all good. All right, let's see here. What we're gonna do? Let's make the top of the paw that kind of light color, just to kind of make it pop like that. Hit that top of that wrist, and then just a smidge, a little bit of his arm, shoulder, little rim light. But hair doesn't have rim light unless you got a big bright light behind it. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Let's do the same thing on this paw. Hit the top a little bit, this side. Area here. Let's go back to this color. Bring that in here. And then this kind of chocolate milk color right there. Put that around let's get a darker color for around this pad stuff. All right, let's make his tail a lighter color. We'll start off with this lightest color to really make sure that tail stands apart. And then we'll give it some of this color. And then we'll go with the darker brown here. Like that. All right. Give a little stretch. Let's add some value to the edge of this ear so that ear comes off, stands out a little bit, and then maybe a little. All right. Now let's get his eye, which, let's see. Yes, the pads are supposed to be black. Just haven't quite got there yet. All right, I'm going to make his eye a much more saturated yellow than his fur, almost like a honey, kind of a honey gold color. And then I'll go back and really make that kind of sing a little bit. Let's see this pink for his nose. And then it kind of turns to a gray towards the edge, and then ultimately a darker color right there. This is a dark color. Let's make his lips this gray color. Smidge of pink. And then we'll make the pads. We'll hit the pads first with this gray, just to knock it in there. Draw a pad, and then finish it out with a little Control S. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all those color layers, which I think are these. Yes. I merged them. And now I'm just going to take my smudge tool with my special smudge brush that I made. And I'm just going to start pulling and smudging this stuff in the direction of my lines that I've got for the fur. And notice how when I'm smudging and pulling this stuff, I'm trying to mimic the direction of those the line that I have to kind of tell the shape of the hair. And what I'm probably going to do is in the end, I'm probably going to try to take some actual photo, because I've been doing this with the other things, just to add some like texture at the very end. I may take some of this reference image hair and kind of place it over the top, just to like give it a kind of a texture a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Don't forget to remind me, people. Don't forget to remind me to do his whiskers. I can't forget his whiskers. Sorry if this is so repetitive, but it's very therapeutic on my end, for sure. Control S. So once I'm done with this kind of like initial fur painting pass, then I'll go back and do my shadow and highlight layer. And then I'll really kind of start setting stuff, like giving a form and setting some of this off. Because it's pretty flat right now, only because I don't really have any like, I don't have any value or anything that's creating the form and bringing stuff forward. But that's okay, because I know that it will come. I need to paint his nails in there as well, his claws. Control S. I'm thinking I'm going to take out, I think I need to take out this white part here, because that's going to be in the background. And I'm going to want to end up push that back anyways. So I want it to be a darker, let's make it a darker color. That'll help. Set those arms off a little bit. It was kind of messing with that white was kind of messing with the bringing the perspective of that arm. I'm going to make all this dark in here underneath his mane. I think one of the things I like about this kind of technique or whatever, I have I have a very traditional background and training of like oil painting and stuff like that. And I feel like that this is very similar. I mean, it's very similar to oil painting in the sense that, you lay down the color, you lay down the general color, and then you just basically push and pull the paint to where until you get kind of what you're looking for. Get any more color on these paws? I kind of neglected them. They're very flat and boring. So I definitely need to go in and add some color. Control S, Control S. So let's go back. Let's hit the pause a little bit. I'm going to make a new layer so I'm not having to worry about fighting with the other. Let's see here. So I'm kind of starting to do that shadow layer, but I'm only doing it in color. So just think these paws are a little bit boring and flat. I just need to start adding some depth to them a little bit. All right, let's go back to my smudge tool. I'm trying to smudge in that kind of circular form around to mimic the form of those, paws and stuff. Smudge just a smidge on the smidgen. All right. I'm going to merge these layers now so I can tie the smudgeons together. Now, I'm going to come back right along this edge. I'm starting to kind of do those shadows, or I'm starting to build the form a little bit by adding these different colors, but I'm still trying to do it with still painting the fur. Okay. Control S. Thank you. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. Should make a t-shirt. Kingswald t-shirt, Control S. Why do I keep reaching for this? Let me just put it over here. Close. Oh, see, I just went over there to reach for it. There we go. Oh, I could do a Kingswald threads. That's just nothing but little Control S's. That's great. It's a great idea. I should have worn one this morning, but I've got the new Kingswild Threads, the next 3, and they are sweet. Oh my goodness. I've moved over here now. I can't. I keep going over there to reach for my tools, and I moved it. Can you imagine the Threads deck for that? Just have the Control S. Well, I'd show you them today, but I'd have to go upstairs and get them. I might could get one of my daughters to bring the shirts down here, but they're so dope. Especially the dinosaur one. The dinosaur one is awesome. All right. This is looking really feeling really good about this. I need some of that yellow gold color over here on these legs. Let me just hit this a couple times. I need this. Oops. I need this color in here. And a little bit in the paw. And then let's work that in there. The tail needs some love. Let's see here. All right, let's get some of that gold color in here at the top. Control S. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Just give it a little look. Little stretch. All right, I'm going to add, if you look at this mane over here, it's kind of this dark brown. I'm going to add that into the back. Right back in here. And then also a little bit, it's pretty dark. Let's just see how that works. Let's see, where else do I want to put it? Put some right behind the ear. Because if you see this, it's got that dark area behind the ear. And then also right in the ear is like that. So we'll put some there. Like that. Yeah, don't forget me. Don't forget to tell me to do the whiskers. Gotta make sure I do the whiskers. Get that all mixed together. Maybe a little bit dark. But I will leave it for now. Let me just pull some of this lighter color in there. Okay. Actually, I like that. Okay, let me see here. I want this color right here. It needs to be a little bit more. His face is a little flat right in here. I don't know what the tallest house of cards ever made is. I feel like this is a joke. Okay. Trying to get that kind of roundish shape of this cheek or whatever it's called. Okay. Let's do the whiskers because we're here. Let's see. I'm going to go a new layer on top of all of that. So it's little dots. Actually, I'm going to do this first, just so it'll help me. All right, I'm going to come in here with white and create. Because if you look at these whiskers, most of them are white. But if I just did white on here, it wouldn't show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a black holding line at the bottom. And then I'm going to draw a white. And I'm also going to exaggerate the size. I need to exaggerate the size quite a bit because this is going to be a very small detail that could easily be lost in printing. Yeah. That's good. Good. That's good. Okay. Control S. Control S. All right. So I'm going to do a quick, this is going to be my first shadow pass. Well, let me do one thing while I'm thinking about it. Just put a little bit of oomph to these teardrop shapes that I like. Okay. Let me clean up this eye, even though you're not going to see it. I'm going to clean it up anyways. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a new layer on top, multiply, and we're going to select. The great thing about this is this brown is going to be really easy to work with because brown is a very easy color to work with. So I'm just going to do it really heavy just to get it in there, and then I'll come back and finesse it. So I'm going to go down here around the back. Under here. Knock this shoulder back. Bring all this down. Give a little richness. A little shadow from the mane onto the shoulder. Okay, let me bring down the opacity. And then go back to the old trusty smudge brush and smudge it a smidgen. And I'm keeping this layer separately because it is a shadow layer. and I want to be able to adjust it. See, because it's a separate layer, so I can kind of go back and adjust it. But at the same time, I want it to work in, because of the fur, I want to work in, make sure that I work it into the fur underneath it. Control S. Says Kenny. All right, let's see here. Yep, that's looking good. I got to color those claws, people. Okay, let's go up to the head. I'm trying to, I'm forcing myself not to zoom in, just so I don't get caught up in the granular details of making this all look right. Because first of all, you're not going to see most of this detail, especially if I'm zooming in to do detail. That's something you're not going to see. You're just going to lose all of that, and it's going to be an exercise in futility. You're not going to see it once it prints. Because this, I'll show you, this is the print size. About that big. So you're not going to see even a lot of this work that I'm doing right now. But it ends up becoming more of value. I'm really liking how it's turning out, though, for sure. Is that okay? Control S. Control S. All right. I'm just going to go and paint the eyes right quick because I like painting eyes. Give them a little life. And because the lion is one of the, living characters, the eyes are really where you give something its life. Let me just fix this little piece right here. It's going up over the eyes like that. All right, so let's just paint the eyes right quick. See you, Brandon. Thanks for hanging out. Control S. All right, let me scratch my elbow. All right, let me just look at it here. Let me see. Is this my shadow layer? Yes. I'm going to bring that down just a bit. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the top and make me a new layer. And this is going to be a kind of a highlight layer. I'm just going to hit it really heavy. He looks so majestic. I do want to be selective about where I'm going to do this. It's going to have quite a bit on his nose. Really want to bring that snout out on his cheeks. Gonna have a little bit here, up on there. Right here to bring out that tail a little bit. Smudge in there. Quite a bit here to bring this paw out. Down the arm. On the forearm. Some in here. Okay. Bring down the opacity a little bit. Knock it back. Get my smudge tool. We're getting really close, people. I don't like what it's doing right here in this area where it's making that kind of like yellow color. I may try to fix that a little bit. But I'm not going to mess with it yet until I'm kind of finished with all this, working all this color in. Okay, just make sure I got everything. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to paint the claws while I'm thinking about it. Just going to knock them, just make them nice and dark here so they stand out. What's up, Max? Got claws in this other hand. Let's see. Yep. And then I will do a slight highlight on them just to give them a little form. Let's do that on top. And then we'll do one little bit, a little bit lighter, just for a shine. Tonk. And then almost a white. Okay, Control S. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm pretty far. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the color. Get these lines out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, mangy cat. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and Control S for good measure. Let me just clean up my stuffs. Okay, I think from here up, what is this? That's my line drawing. I got a lot of stuff. Okay. So I need to duplicate this. Rotate that around. Okay. Got that. I need to take all this and rotate it around. That's just the whiskers. Okay. This is this thing that sucks about not keeping your layers organized because I don't know where all my painting is. Okay, that's what I was looking for. There we go. There we go. All right. So some things I'm going to do that I'm already seeing is I'm going to Control S it because that's what you do. You Control S it. Let me find my line drawing. It's in this layer here. What is this? All right. I'm going to go here. I'm just going to darken up this shoulder, this back shoulder, just a solid value to push it back. Only thing is I will lose this little swirl in the beard if I push it too far. So bring it back a little bit, about right there. Control J. All right, let me duplicate that. All right, let me just see here what's going on. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure. Sometimes when you have a lot of layers, and especially the stuff that's very kind of subtle, I can't tell if I mirrored everything over. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Control S, and then I'm gonna image, duplicate, and I'm gonna flatten the whole thing. So this is a new image. And then what I can do from here is I'm gonna make a new layer on top. And this is just a way for me to check. So I'm going to just rotate the whole image 180 degrees. And then I can hit, sorry. I'm going to duplicate the image. So I have two of the same image, and then I'm going to rotate the top one 180 degrees. And then I can turn on and off the top layer from the bottom layer. Now I'm not looking, you'll notice that the background is changing, and that's because the background is not two ways, it's one way. But the only thing that I'm looking for is just to see if I see anything jump on the character, which I'm not, that means that I have got everything mirrored over. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So like if I go in here to his eye, let's see here. if I go into his eye right here and paint out this highlight towards like that, if you look at the eye, when I turn this on and off, you can see that white spot popping in and out. But that's also the only thing that you see popping in and out is that white spot. And that would be an example of, okay, it's different. I know I didn't duplicate all of my layers correctly. So, short, free Photoshop lesson. Control S, back to my picture. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do another shadow pass, and this is going to be like a cast shadow pass. Do a little stretch first. Okay, so I'm going to come up. Let me find my line drawing. That's the whiskers line drawing. So I'm going to go right below the line drawing. I'm going to select this brown color back here. And then I'm going to paint in cast shadows. So this paw is going to be coming over this arm. And this will help really kind of bring in that, the dynamicness. Is that a word? Dynamicness? I don't know. Dynamic. This tail is going to be casting a shadow here, but also the bottom of this arm. So I'm going to bring the shadow of that. It's going to be here. So the shadow of that tail coming down in here. There's going to be a cast shadow down here under the tail going behind that arm. All this will be in shadow. They delve too deeply in the mines of Moria, and they have woken the shadow and flame. There will be a cast shadow over the tail. See you, Sam. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. There'll be a cast shadow over the tail right there. Then we're going to have a cast shadow underneath the chin. Behind this, whatever that is, the cheek, something. In the ear here. Right in there. On this shoulder from his mane. Like that. And I feel like that's basically, feeling that's pretty good. So I got the excuse me while I cough into the microphone. So I got the cast shadow layer in there, and now I'm just going to go back and knock those edges back with my smidgen smudge tool here. But notice how it's on its own layer, so I can adjust that when I need to. And the way that cast shadows work on fur is, you got to work everything into the fur, because you're not going to have hard edges. You're not going to have hard lines. So you kind of have to remember to work everything back into the fur is what I'm doing now. So I swear, I got Africa stuck in my head this morning, and I've been singing it in my brain the whole time. Okay. We're getting really close, though. time is it? 8 o'clock? Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, let's just rock that. Getting really close. All right, got the cast shadow on his. Let's work this cast shadow on his. I can say cast shadow a couple more times probably. All right. All right, I'm going to bring the opacity down a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to do another cast shadow. Just hang with me. You were like, what the heck are you doing, Jackson? I'm going to do another cast shadow layer that's pretty big. And what this is going to do is there's a lot of areas that are that high value, and I'm just want to knock some of that back a bit so that we have a little bit more depth. So I'm going to do really heavy-handed in the beginning. I don't want it to be on the whiskers. The whiskers get a pass. Okay, oops. Smudge right there. A little bit in here. Smudging down there. Right there. Okay, just a little bit more here. Okay, I'm going to bring that back. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Right about there. Oops. Do not want to do that. That was the wrong button. Okay, I think this is going to be the last one. And then I'm going to try to do some actual real hair texture on the top just to give it a little bit of an edge, like we did with the scarecrow. Bring this back a little bit. Stay out of his goatee. All right. Okay, good. Good. Let me just pop that on and off just so I can see what's going on here. Okay, let me just bring it down a wee bit more. All right. What was I going to do? Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a pop here. If I was a photographer, it would be called a rim light or a backlight. So it's going to be, this is just something that I'm going to add just to see, add a little kick. So what I'm doing is, if I was a photographer, Control S. If I was a photographer, I'd have a light back here behind him, hitting the rim of his head, and just creating this rim light. But what I'm going to do is, and just hang with me, it's going to look weird as I'm doing it, but it works, I promise. I'm going to find a blue that is very, let's go right here, almost like a sky blue, right in there. Something that's very different. It may work, it may not. We'll just see. And I'm basically just going to come in here. I'm going to make sure that I'm under the line drawing. Okay, that's the line drawing. And I'm just going to hit ever so slightly the back. Like this. The back of his hair with this sky blue rim light. I want to be careful with it. And just right in here. Okay. And then just right here on the shoulder. I used to do this with, I did these illustrations for Star Wars called Galactic Heroes. Not right there. And they used to love this rim light. They, as in Hasbro, they would like. Okay. And then just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit on his ear. I don't want to overdo it, but that feels good. And then just trying to see if there's any other place I might could use it. Nope. I think that's good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my smudge tool and just soften up some of these edges. And it may look out of place when you're zoomed in, but if you go look at photographs, especially photographs of things, like if you look at a portrait photograph of somebody with like wispy hair and that kind of thing, the photographs that look way better are the ones that are lit appropriately with like a nice backlight to really kind of accentuate the hair itself. Yes, this is good. Okay, I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to rotate it around. Okay, Control S. Now, let me see here. Let me go to the internets. Let me go to iStock. Let's see here, iStock. We're going to go lion. Let's see here. I'm just looking for a good image that has good fur that I might could use. Let me try. This is a good one, but I need to find more. Let's see. Okay. Sorry. Now we're getting into the illustrative stuff. A lot of these are very starkly lit, which makes it hard. Let's see, line head. Let's just go photographs. Where's my photographs? What's this? Let me see this one. Maybe. That's not bad. Let me sign in right quick. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get that one. Let's see here. Let me save this. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'm so excited about being done and my stomach's growling. Just save this right quick. Go through my mountain of files. Wizard of Oz. Lion hair 1. Okay, let's see what else is in this collection. If you notice, I'm on iStock and I'm purchasing these photographs because I'm going to use them. Look at that. Look at that engraving. That's dope. That's awesome. I'm purchasing these images because if I were to just snatch them from Google, that would be theft. And I don't want to steal. So, all right, let's go back. This may or may not work, but we're going to see. Let's go lion hair. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm gonna have to fiddle with it, and this may be more work than what it's worth. Definitely more than what it's worth. So I'm just gonna copy a section that's kind of all going in one direction, and then I'm gonna bring it. Let's see here. How am I gonna do this? So I'm just going to try to kind of get this in the general direction, going in the general direction. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get a feathered edge brush, and I'm just going to erase the edges. Kind of like that. I'm going to take my smudge brush. Nope. I'm not going to do the smudge brush. Excuse me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. Let's try overlay. Let's go overlay. Nope. Let's go multiply. Bring down the opacity. Okay, and what I'm going to do first is, let's go back to normal. I'm just going to get this, I'm just going to duplicate this hair. Let me delete this part. I'm just going to I'm just going to duplicate and move this hair around into the general location of where I want it to be. Okay. And I'm definitely not going to do this everywhere because I don't want it to get lost, even though it's not much. Let me flip this. Okay. What happened? There we go. Okay, good. You're like, what the heck are you doing, Brohim? Well, we're doing it is what we're doing. We're doing it. We are making it happen. We're making this line majestic. Ship it. Done. Just kidding. Okay. Now what I'm going to do. Wait, one more. Let's come in here. Erase that. And then that. I don't need this on his face. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to put one on his face like that. And then I'm going to duplicate that one. Flip it. Okay. Hang with me, people. I promise it's going to be cool. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into each one of these things, and I'm going to use the Puppet Warp. Boom. And Puppet Warp creates a three-dimensional, it's not really three-dimensional. It creates a tessellated mesh. And then what I can do is I can pin the mesh in certain areas. And then I can bend that hair in the kind of direction, in a similar direction that the hair, but I kind of got to be careful because it sometimes tends to stretch things. So you kind of got to finesse it a little bit. And so now you can see that this part here is kind of going in the direction. So I'm just going to go around and Puppet Warp each one of these. That's not what I wanted. I'm going to pin these here. I'm going to pull this around this way. Pull this down here. Pull this out a little bit. Okay, good. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to pull this in there. pull that here. That's pretty close already. Okay. Puppet warp. Okay, boom, boom. Bring this down. Pull this in. Okay. Just working my way around. Working my way around. Gonna bring this down here. Pull this down. Come on. Come down. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear my stomach growling, but it's growling. Okay. I mean, you can already tell. It's already looking way better. I just got a few more to work in here. Okay. It's Teen Wolf. All right. Now, I'm going to do just a few on his body, just so it ties in together. But I'm not going to be heavy-handed with it. Just going to kind of place it in here. Okay. Now, I got the task of moving all of this. Let me find the first one. That's my rim light. I think that's my first one. So I'm going to come all the way to the top, group those. And I'm going to make that multiply, bring the opacity down. What opacity do I have these? I need these. I want all these 100% inside the folder. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, let's see. Let's just see. That's multiply, lighten. I like overlay. You got to watch overlay because it can really saturate your colors. But it has a nice effect for sure. And I'm just turning it on and off. And you can kind of see it like in here. It's very, very subtle. But like right here, you can see the little strands of hair from the photograph. And when I turn them on and off, you know, it kind of goes in and out. And like right in here, you see how kind of like flat, you see how kind of flat and muddy this brown is? When I have this overlay on top of it, it kind of, especially like right in here, in this kind of mid-tone halfway point, it's kind of like this very boring, bland color. When I pop this on top, right in here, I don't know if you can see it, it kind of gives it a little bit of like this, it kind of gives it this kind of golden warmth to it that I like. You can really see it in here, kind of this flat area right in here. it kind of gives a warmth to it. So, but what I need to do now is put a layer mask, fill it with black, and then I'm going to paint that hair in so I'm not, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't need to be over his eye. So I'm just going to go in and paint in that hair texture over the areas that I want it. And you can see it adding that warmth to those mid-tone areas, which the mid-tone areas are where your colors can go muddy really easily, because your eyes and the mixing is like, is it dark? Is it light? Which one is it? And it can go muddy really quick. So I'm just painting in that hair texture where I want it and not where I don't want it. And I think more than anything, with just the subtle wispiness of the actual photographic hair texture, there is an element where I'm taking those natural colors that are in the photograph, and then it's warming up these. I've been harping on a little bit just right now, but it really adds a warmth to it that I really like. Thanks, Black Forest. Appreciate that. I didn't have it over the... I'm going to get... I'll find a specific photograph of a lion tail, hopefully, and I'll put it on that little tip just to give that tip a little bit more pop. All right. That looks... I'm very pleased with how that turned out. So I'm going to duplicate that hair layer, and then I'm going to rotate it around. Nope. Try that again. What is my file size here? 2.6 gigs. It's pretty big. Okay. Let me take a drink of water. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do, what time is it? 8:30? We're looking good. Let's go back. Let's see if I can find a lion tail. Yes, there's one. That's the one I used. It's pretty dark, though. You see how we were talking about the rim light? So you've got this kind of rim light. It's backlit by the sun, and you're getting all this really cool rim light. That's kind of what I was talking about, that blue rim light that I added. I may not. Let's see. Let's just go back. I can probably just use this. Yeah, I can use this. It's not a problem. I can use this for sure. Let's just scale it down a bit. Let's puppet warp it just a little bit to get that curve. And then make sure. Oops. I want to put you under. There we go. And then I'm going to make a layer mask. Boom. Fill it with black. And then I'm going to come back in and paint it exactly where I want it. And then I'm going to bring the opacity back a little bit and call that duplicate, rotate, come on, Robinson. There we go. Control S for the love. Control S. Okay. I really like this card. I like how it turned out. Control S again, just in case the first Control S did not happen. Control S again, in case the second Control S did not work. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate the image. First of all, I'm going to Control S just because. Why not? Okay. I'm going to image, duplicate. I'm going to flatten. Okay. I'm going to come back. Get out of here. Go away. I'm going to go back to this layer, my master file. Get my die line. Pull it over. That's not the die line. Silly person. I want this here. What? No. I want you. There. That's what I wanted. You always Control S. You always have to Control S before you Control S. All right, so I'm going to do a unsharpened mask just to heighten, just to give the detail a little pop. Now, I won't do this on my master file. I won't do the unsharpened mask until the very, very end. Oh, I'm yawning. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to make a new layer, a new shape on the top that's the same shape as a playing card, because we're going to mock this in, because you want to see this post on Instagram later, don't you guys? We got to feed the Instagram. We got to feed the Instagram. All right, so we're going to go open up my photographs. Let's see here. Product shots. Where are you at? Product shots, master, blank card templates, Wizard of Oz. We used one of these yesterday. Let's use this one today. Nope, I don't like those because I don't like the blurry background. It makes it look fake. Let's see here. This one. Yes, use that one. So come over here. Let's grab our card. Boom, boom, copy, paste. Paste that right there. It's huge. Scale her down a little bit. No dots on him like the other cards. No, that's a good question. There are no dots. I only use the dots on the blue stuff on the other cards. And this is because he's kind of organic, you know, fur and everything. He doesn't really have the material and texture for me to use the dots. So that's kind of what, that's kind of my thinking behind not using the dots. So I'm just going to line this card up with this dummy card that I've got in the background. Like a these. Like a these. Line it up like a these. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Bring back the opacity. Let's see. I'll blur some of these edges just to get to match the depth of field. How big is my image? 8. Let's go pixels. Now we're good. All right, we'll just blur. Wait, what's happening? Okay, 1 second. I don't want to blur it. Let's see. Oh, I was doing the burn tool. Sorry, excuse me, blur. It's like, what's happening? I'll blur this corner a little bit. And this corner down here a little bit, just to fake that depth of field. It probably is the same template, but you know what? It's okay. Let me see. Is it the same template? I can't remember. I've slept since yesterday. Let me see. Go to Instagram and check. It totally is the same. It's totally the same. Let's use a different one. Let's go with let's see this one. Nope. I don't have to. Let's see that one. Let's see this one. Yeah, we'll just use this one. Paste. Scale down. Bring the opacity back. Rotate. Scale. Let's line these corners up. Ship-a-bam. 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 Okay. Bring back the opacity. Boom. Looking good. Blur this corner a smidge. And done. Awesome. Save. Wizard of Oz. Let's go. Recent. Open. This would be King O Diamonds. Lion. Render. A JPEG. Okay. Saved. Close. Close. Get out of here. Okay. This is my copied image. The perspective doesn't really change. I was messing with the perspective. If you match up the corners when you're doing that in Photoshop, you can match up the perspective. Okay, so this is my rendered image, and you can see by the little star right there that it's not saved. So I'm going to Control S that bad boy. We're good, and this is good. I don't need this. All right, so let me go back to. Let me pull up the final, just so I can have it, so you guys can see it, and people that can see it that are coming late. So there's the king. King of Diamonds. Like that. All right, let me see here. Let me turn my lights back on so you can see my face. Let me see here. Opening. There we go. So yeah, there we go. What time is it? 8:38. That's good. A good time. Drink some water. So there we go. Dawn's Early Light, day 2. In the bag. King of Diamonds. The Lion from Wizard of Oz, done. I really liked how this turned out. I like how the fur, I was a little iffy on the fur in the beginning because fur can be a little bit touchy. But I think it turned out really nice. I like let me just pull it back up. I like the flow of the tail and the arms. I like the overlapping of the arms. I think that all works really well. Holy moly. I almost blew it, people. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. You get lazy and you forget stuff. Look at this, people. Right here. This shadow layer, that's the hair layer. Where is it at? Let me find it. That's one of them. That's hair. See the cast shadow layer? See this, the cast shadow on his arm from his hand? Notice how it's not here on this, and the cast shadow of the... So I need to find those layers. So that's one of them. So let's duplicate that one. Bring it over. There we go. Now I need to find this layer, wherever the heck it is. There it is. Duplicate. Rotate that around. And you know why I missed it? Because I didn't do my check, my flip check. So let's do the flip check. I'm going to turn these lights off because they're so bright in my face. So let's do the flip check. We're going to duplicate the image, flatten it. I'm going to duplicate, rotate, and then I'm going to turn off and on the top layer. And I'm specifically looking for anything on the line. I'm not looking at the background, but I'm looking for anything on the line that's jumping. I see one thing right here that's jumping, but that's okay. That's all. That's going to get lost in the print. I don't see any major things that are jumping, so we're good. Control S. Control S. But I really liked how this turned out. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what card I'm going to do tomorrow. I may work on the tuck case, the book box tuck case, the one that's kind of like the Beowulf and the Robin Hood that looks like a book, not the actual gilded book box case, but the one that's like a textured book. I may work on that tomorrow, but I'll probably end up working on a court card just because I'm feeling good about the stride that I'm making with the court cards, and so I may keep doing that just to keep going. But yeah, so thanks a lot for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody that's been here. Thanks for people that are already gone, which is okay. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Wednesday? I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 a.m. for the Dawn's Early Light. And I'm not sure what I'll work on yet, but I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for your time. Where's my end button? There it is. Take it easy, people. See ya.